Welcome to the Economy Magazine at I-24 News, where we provide a daily view on world markets and the global economy. I'm Natalie Ehrlich. Coming up today, Mexican innovators convene in Aguascalientes, Mexico for Startup Weekend, and the Israeli cabinet approves the natural gas roadmap. Well, let's start now with the headlines. The Israeli cabinet approved a controversial gas deal on Sunday. A total of 17 cabinet members voted in favor, while 3 abstained. Notably, Finance Minister Moshe Kahlon. Environmental Protection Minister Avi Gabay was the only one to oppose. Going forward, the Israeli parliament will vote on the highly disputed deal, which supporters say will be a boon for the Israeli economy, though critics warn the terms favor the U.S.-Israeli consortium over the public and its needs for cheap gas prices. Well, it does seem the U.S. economy is not immune to China's problems. In quarterly conference calls, a number of American executives pointed to weaker consumer demand in China as a reason for lower revenues. Although Chinese authorities have been aggressive in avoiding a slowdown, a series of bad economic data continued throughout the summer, inspiring Beijing's most bold move yet, 3 days of consecutive currency devaluations. But it's poor timing for U.S. businesses, which merely eked out a 1.2% boost in Q2 earnings. Meanwhile, Japan's economy shrank in the second quarter, though still managed to perform slightly better than expected. Quarterly GDP fell 1.6% on the year, compared with expectations for a 1.9% contraction. Compared with the previous quarter, GDP contracted 0.4%, slightly better than expectations for 0.5% contraction, as projected by a Reuters poll. Upon the data's release, the Japanese yen didn't change much.
Income conditions continue to improve as a trend, so private consumption is expected to recover gradually. The government is not thinking about immediately putting together an excess stimulus measures at this moment.
In commodities news, oil continues to feel the pain. Oil slid further into negative territory in Asian trading on Monday. On the New York Mercantile Exchange, light sweet crude futures for September delivery traded at $41.88 a barrel, down 62 cents. Meanwhile, in London, October Brent crude on the ICE Futures Exchange fell 64 cents to $48.55 a barrel. A number of factors are contributing to low oil prices, more output from OPEC nations, and a stronger dollar. And Brazilians took to the streets across the country in 240 cities on Sunday in protest of socioeconomic problems. Demonstrators could be seen holding banners and Brazilian national flags, the third round of anti-government protests this year. High unemployment and inflation were also sources of angst. The corruption case with state-owned oil company Petrobras was also a reason for frustration among the demonstrators. Well, shifting our focus now to innovation, we are joined on set by Yaniv Bertele, VP Business Development at Consumer Physics. The Israel-based company makes the SIO, the world's first molecular sensor that fits in your hand. Now, this firm was recently chosen by the World Economic Forum as a technology pioneer of 2015. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
Well, tell us a bit about SIO. You have it here. Give us a demonstration.
So SIO is actually the first molecular sensor that fits in the palm of your hand. I have here a device which basically connects to my phone via Bluetooth. And it allows me to interact with the physical world around me simply by the press of a button. We create a spectral signature, relay it via the cloud, via the phone to our cloud, and then provide real-time information via a specific app. So for a practical demonstration, I have an application here which I'm going to run on my phone, and I have some groceries that I picked with me from the grocery. What I'm going to do, I'm going to use the device to scan the cheese. I'm pressing the button, putting the sensor at the cheese, and the scan takes practically 1 second. The results are relayed to the cloud, and the results are sent real time to the phone. So that's a hard cheese I was just picking up from the store on my way over here. It says 28% fat, but the application can actually give me the actual values of this specific cheese. It says 27.5% fat, and the protein is 24.5, calories 346. Actually gives you the real-time values of the cheese. I have a tomato here. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go back to the app, switch to the fruits and vegetables, and scan the carbohydrates of this specific tomato. It gives me the actual sweetness of this fruit. And what we could see after a few seconds is that this tomato has 2.4 grams of 2.4 grams of carbohydrates per 100 grams and 14.6 calories.
So this is providing a breakdown, the nutritional breakdown of these food items. But what else can it do? What other breakdowns?
Well, we can actually provide you information about peel identification and counterfeit detection. I have some peels with me here, and for the demonstration purpose, we'll use a peel jig, where I'll be able to place the peels inside and identify the actual peels within the phone. I'm going to pick a specific peel just for the sake of demonstration out of many peels that I have here with me. I'm going to slip it into the peel jig, press a button, and in real time get the identification of what peel it is. So it identifies it as a Viagra.
Fascinating.
The actual most counterfeit drug in the world.
And there are a lot of problems with synthetic drugs, especially coming from China. There could be serious health risks here for people.
Exactly. So food safety is a critical item that we're dealing with in the Far East. We were able actually to detect counterfeit drugs. We were able to detect freshness of food and additional counterfeit of various products.
Well, it's certainly really, it almost seems like futuristic technology here. Is this truly the technology of the future here?
Well, Star Trek has been speaking about the tricorder for many years ago, and it's about time that somebody introduced this technology that fits in the palm of our hands. It provides real-time information about a lot of compounds and materials. It helps us analyze the content of various products around us and actually interact with our body. We can use this device to measure body fat, core body temperature, pulse oximetry, etc.
So you can actually place it on your body as well, and it will tell you
exactly the body fat.
Your contents as well?
Your body fat, your core temperature, your hydration, etc.
All right. So are you working with a lot of pharmaceutical and healthcare companies?
Right. So most of our collaborations are about developing applications that would give substantial benefits to end clients. Cosmetics, for instance, help to adapt the right product to a specific skin type, counterfeit of medication, and of course upstream supply chain management for various enterprises in various markets.
Well, it's no wonder that you've been able to generate a lot of attention on the world stage, including the World Economic Forum recently selected you as a tech pioneer, your company. What can you tell us about this rapid rise to fame?
In a sense, I think that we have managed to bring about an innovation that has been long sought in the smartphone world. Smartphones today are used for many, many purposes, but this is actually the first time when your smartphone can allow you to interact with the physical world around us. Today, we're using this device as an accessory. Our next step would definitely be the integration of this device into the smartphone, where anybody, anywhere could analyze almost anything and get instant results about whatever it is around them.
Well, thank you very much for coming on our program.
Thank you for having me.
Well, staying on the topic of innovation, Startup Weekend, the global network of entrepreneurs which convenes in different locations all over the world, recently kicked off in Aguascalientes, Mexico. Now, just ahead of this event, we spoke with an Iranian-American entrepreneur, Kamran Alahian. We are joined on Skype by Kamran Alahian, a founding investor and board member at SoundHound, currently in Aguascalientes, Mexico for Startup Weekend. Thank you so much for being with us today.
It's my pleasure to be here.
Well, Startup Weekend takes place all over the world. So far, what's unique about this event in Mexico?
Well, I'm a mentor at Unreasonable Institute in Mexico, which is in the town of Aguascalientes. And each year we have this accelerator program that we run for 5 weeks to provide mentorship and teach the entrepreneurs who are developing a good product or a service that could benefit the Mexican society, and either at the regional or a national basis. And we teach them about how to market their products, how to raise money, raise capital for their company, and how to scale up.
Well, what stands out to you about Mexico's startup ecosystem?
Well, it is a young ecosystem for high technology, and definitely it is a very young ecosystem for social entrepreneurship, for entrepreneurship that uses high technology to have a good impact in the society. For Unreasonable Institute, we started our program here last year, and this is our second year. 240 startups from 31 different states in Mexico applied, and we selected 11 of them. And they are here. Some companies sent more than one executive. They're all small companies. And what is nice about them is the young people in Mexico feel that they can actually develop new products, new services to make their lives better. That's the power of high technology in here.
Lastly, we really want to hear about your work in iBridges.
Well, iBridges is an innovation-driven organization that is trying to highlight all the accomplishment of the high-tech entrepreneurs from Iran. As we all know, entrepreneurship, high-tech entrepreneurship is a growing effort all over the world. And I've been involved in about 36 countries. But since I was born in Iran myself, I see that there is a huge, huge potential for high-tech entrepreneurs from Iran to really help build a fantastic economy separate from oil and gas, and really using alternative energy and new advances in information technology, molecular biology, and nanotech to create many high-tech jobs in Iran. As you know, in Iran, the population is 97% literate. The rate of literacy is extremely high, and more than 70% of population are young people. And they all love to be the next Steve Jobs or the next Bill Gates. So that is a very interesting country with a lot of potential.
Well, thank you so much for coming on our program. Kamran Alahian, a founding investor and board member at SoundHound. Very much appreciate it.
Thank you.
Well, the nat gas story continues here in Israel, and for the latest analysis, we are joined on set by Niv Ellis of the Jerusalem Post. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Happy to be here.
Well, tell us about the significance of this latest cabinet vote.
I think the interesting thing in the cabinet vote is that Aryeh Deri, the economy minister, still said that he wouldn't just use his authority to pass it through right away. He still wants it to go to the Knesset. It's basically a sense that nobody wants to take ownership of this, even though the deal is ready to go and all of the sides have come to an agreement.
Right. What about Kahlon's abstain here?
So Kahlon early on said that he had a conflict of interest, so he couldn't vote on any of these things. So that's why he abstained. And it's one of the interesting things because, again, Kahlon ran on this whole concept of breaking up monopolies. Here, we're entrenching a situation where there's not a monopoly, but not enough competition. And, you know, even though I think that the deal is pretty good and should move forward quickly rather than slowly, that it's better to get it done, and I agree with Benjamin Netanyahu on that point, I think that there's this sense that, oh my God, no one wants to take owner of it because it is sort of entrenching this monopolistic structure, and that doesn't sound very good.
Right. And what do you think will unfold now when it goes into the Knesset?
This is the big mystery because Kahlon is one of 3 MKs who has declared a conflict of interest when it comes to the gas. So MKs in the coalition, which only has 61, it's razor thin, and they need 61 to pass anything. So the question is, who from the outside is going to support them? And it's going to take a lot of politics in order for them to figure out if they can actually get this through.
Interesting. Well, let's move on to another topic, on the topic of oil in the U.S. and Mexico. The U.S. Commerce Department recently approved this swap of oil between Mexico and America. What's going on over there?
This is really interesting. For the last 40 years, since the Yom Kippur War and the Arab embargo, the United States hasn't been exporting oil except to Canada. So this is a little bit of a switch. This has always been allowed, but it's never been done before, that they're exporting some of the United States' oil down to Mexico in exchange for a different kind of oil coming back up, light oil for heavier oil. And it's the beginning of an opening up, perhaps, of this idea that the United States might export its oil. Since the shale oil boom, the U.S. has all this extra oil, and the price of oil is actually lower in the U.S. than it is in world markets. So
below $42 a barrel.
It's gone down tremendously.
Yeah.
So you can imagine that's great for us, but if you're someone who's invested a lot of money into getting oil out of the ground, it's not very good. So this is an attempt to boost the U.S. oil producers so that they can sell at a little bit of a higher price than what they're selling inside the U.S., because the difference can be $6 to $20 depending on where you are. So this isn't going to have a huge impact, but it's sort of the beginning of the possible beginning of a process where the U.S. will actually have a more global role in oil trade.
Well, thank you very much for joining us today, Niamh Ellis of the Jerusalem Post. That wraps up our show today. Do stay tuned every day from the Jaffa Port in Tel Aviv for all your global business coverage. I'm Natalie Ehrlich. Thank you for watching.